editing software as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because if you hear the audio on that, it's crappy. It's so bad.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay. So see, I always start off like so. This is the Why I Am podcast. The podcast for good advice for bad people. And yeah, it's a lot easier to say that. It's like if you watch me every week now, you'll see me progressively get better.
Okay.
Well, the first 2 times I didn't even say the podcast name right, but whatever.
I saw. Sorry to interrupt you, but
no, you're good.
There was like the last one. There was like technical difficulties for like.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. Well, because that was before I got this cord, so every time the thing would just die. But I've never had that. I think the battery's getting bad on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it would just die like after an hour, and it sucks because I don't want to reset it up in the middle of a podcast. Yeah. So I kind of just go with it, and we just because technically it's supposed to be all audio anyways.
Yeah,
I just do the video because I'm a video major. You know what I mean?
Oh, are you turning this in, or are you gonna get?
No, I'm just doing this to practice. Like basically, like because everything with cameras is a little different. You don't shoot. You like with coloring for scenes. Most of the people shoot flat. You don't get the natural color because it's kind of hard to do that in a control unless you have a huge budget and it's really controlled environment because lighting affects color or stuff like that. You shoot a flat profile, so it's kind of red until you edit it. Then you make it really red or a little bit more red or less red. You know what I mean?
No idea. What
you don't. No. It's like a faded picture. It's like a faded shirt. Like if you have a blue shirt, but it's like a baby blue.
Okay.
You could either dye it to make it really blue, like your bandana,
okay.
Or you can lighten it up to make it lighter blue.
Okay.
That's how a flat profile in a camera works.
Okay.
It's still kind of weird, but yeah, that's basically what it is. It's like you're able to adjust the colors the way you want it.
Okay.
The only thing you can't adjust in editing is basically lighting, which is why we need this lighting. Because if not, even though like we're so used to not seeing good,
the
camera does not see that well.
Okay.
It sucks. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, that's a long intro. This is Nauras. He's a friend from. Well, I keep saying this. I was like, he's a friend from high school. Literally every time I've said this, I've done the intro. It's always been a friend from high school, because that's all I get is people from high school. Except for that last one, who was the guy I just met.
The guy that you just met.
That's why I had that clickbait title.
Meeting a stranger.
Yeah. I had to do it that way. But yeah, this is Nauras. We've known each other for a while. Kind of just started hanging out in the past. That's actually one thing I wanted to talk about because you talked about Discord the other night.
Yeah.
And so we kind of got closer around then. Everyone started being a little bit more closer and stuff like that and doing stuff out, especially since you don't live where we live anymore.
No, hell no.
Yeah, you live in the middle of nowhere, like 3 hours away, right?
Yeah, I live in Winchester, Virginia. It's like an hour and a half outside of DC.
Yeah. So, I mean, just a little bio on Nauras. I always I have everyone do a little bio. So just to, you're talking to me. So just again, talk about what you do and stuff like that, and where you're from.
Sure. Yeah. It's a super long story.
Yeah, but condense it because we already went through all of that the other night.
So basically, I was born in Austria, Vienna, Austria, and then because my mom, she was like she was Bosnian, ended up in Austria because she was a refugee, and we lived there for about 8 years. Like grew up speaking German, and then in the house we spoke Bosnian because my dad spoke Bosnian too, and then he wanted to do like the follow the American dream and all that jazz. Came here to America. Initially came to Georgia. Didn't work out so well in Georgia.
Yeah, you're like, Georgia is not the move.
It's not the anytime when their first time in America, Atlanta, Georgia is not the move at all. We're like in the ghettos and everything, which wasn't good. Reggie knows because he told me.
Yeah, I was living there too. Yeah, it's definitely not the move. Georgia is not the move, man.
I mean, if you want to feel like the hood, you can go to like the burbs or like the boonies of Atlanta.
Not saying Georgia isn't nice. It's actually kind of nice, but it's just like having to live there.
Decatur, Georgia ain't nice.
Dang. Oh my god.
I don't know. What part of Georgia were you in? I forgot.
Lawrenceville.
Yeah, Lawrenceville.
It's just probably, I think it's like 30 minutes away from Decatur, but
Yeah.
it's like in the same vicinity.
Hella avoid those places. And then,
God.
was it? This was so almost 2001 now. We ended up in Virginia Beach, and I kind of grew up ever since then. So like, started, yeah, I think I started around second grade in Virginia Beach, and then kind of just grew up there and went to Tallwood. That's where I met Reggie at Tallwood. He was, you were like a year, 2 years younger?
1 year.
Yeah. And then went to ODU for like 2.5 years, graduated, got into med school, did that in Richmond.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing residency in like family med.
And he's still young. He's only a year older than me, and I'm now a senior.
We all got our path, dude.
Oh, and also he kind of skipped over this. In high school, he was valedictorian. That's a flex we always say on Discord.
Oh yeah, by the way, yeah, graduated number 1 in my class, guys, in case you guys didn't know.
Greatest speech. I was there. It was so chill.
Oh my god, I got so much heat from teachers. Like it was like half the teachers that really knew me well were like, "Oh, great speech!
Yeah,
I
that's
loved
him.
it.
Yeah,
I loved
that's
it."
him. Yeah.
And then half the other teachers looked at me like I was crazy. Like, what the fudge was that? Like, how could you? Like, you disrespected the sanctity of graduate. I'm like, man, get out of my face. Dude. I'm gone. I'm out of here.
What do you? I'm number 1. I'm number 1. What else can you say?
It was funny because I think the 2 people that graduated below me, everybody thought that they were going to be like co-valedictorians and everything. Yeah, and they're like, everybody knew who they were, like all the higher ups, the principal and the like counselors were like, yeah, these. And then I like showed up out of nowhere. Like, who the fudge is this dude?
Oh my gosh, dude, that's so funny, dude.
So funny, dude.
You know how much like you beat him by? Like,
Yeah, I was one class, one AP. I think I took one AP class more than him, and it was literally like 0.0.
like 2.
Yeah, it was like minuscule, dude.
Hey, that one AP class pushed you over the edge. got you that speech.
It was nice because, I mean, I remember 11th and 12th grade, I had early release both days. So I was done at like noon 30.
I hate you for that. They didn't give it to me for both days. They only gave it to me for one day. And I was like, and they were like, you could do late arrival. I was like, nobody wants late arrival, man. That's so dumb. I'm going to wake up like an hour later and still feel just as tired.
Yeah. Oh, dude, early release was the move, man.
Yeah.
The only thing that sucked is if you have after school, then you
Then you
kind of
gotta
were
come
stuck.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I didn't do too much after school though, so I was cool with it.
That's true.
Yeah, you were really involved after school.
Dude.
Yeah.
I wasn't that, like, I kind of was like one of those people that would just do their ish and try to get it over with. I did a couple clubs, but compared to my sister, she graduated, like 3-4 years after I did? She graduated, I think, number 2. So we're running that in the family.
That's so messed up. It's like, hey, you can go second. It's so messed up. I'm first. Let me go through the door first or some shit.
Well,
I'm not gonna lie. I do that to my if I did that with my sibling.
it was unfair for her because I kind of like set the bar. So like
Yeah,
I did
I
it.
see
So
that.
my parents were always like, well, if your brother can do it, you know,
You
so
can do it
You
too.
can do it too.
Yeah, I understand that for her. That would suck. That's what I like about being the oldest. I'm
Yeah.
the oldest out of, I think, 13 kids.
Holy
Yeah, I don't know if we
Okay.
talked about that. My dad has like 9 kids.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah,
Well, you got to count on your fingers.
I don't know because there's a lot. Yeah, I think there's 8. They just had another one. They had another baby last year,
Dang.
and my mom just had a baby 3 years ago.
Dude, your family's huge, man.
Yeah, I grew up with my mom, and on that side there's 4 of us, 5 of us,
Okay.
5, yeah.
Dang.
And I'm the oldest out of all of them, so like, I understand that whole like setting the bar thing because I didn't graduate valedictorian honestly, but I did graduate with honors
Yeah.
and stuff, and I was like, yeah, I'm with honors. And then all my brothers and sisters didn't graduate with honors.
Yeah.
And they're not. They still had like, I think it's like a 3.0, but they didn't get the 3.5.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah,
Yeah. That's pretty sweet.
yeah. Only one that only had like 2 C's throughout my whole grade
dang,
school. Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, well, because Filipino C's are bad. If I had to see,
Yeah.
if I had to see, like what it was is, if I had to see on my progress report, it better not be on my report card. That's what it was.
Dude, yeah. I totally get that. Dude, I would like be. I remember back when I like started elementary school here, English was really hard for me because like
Yeah.
think so like I grew up speaking German and then I spoke Bosnian in the house, so English was like my third language, and I had a lot. My sister picked it up pretty well, but I didn't. And like when I would come home, you know, you get those like packets of all your grades for the
Yeah.
week. I would like the first couple times I just brought it home, didn't think anything of it, and my dad would like just roast me. He was like, you can't be doing this. Like, we moved to America. Like, you can't do this. So what I used to do is, like, right before I got home, I would, like, there's this creek behind my house. And I'd, like, take out all the bad grades and toss them in the trash.
my god!
Or toss them in the creek and then come on and only have the good grades. That's how scared I was. And then, like, ever since then, I'm like, well, it'll be just easier if I do well. So
Right,
that kind of, like, put it into my head, like, okay, I just got to work a
pretty-
little
you're pretty-
harder.
You're pretty smart for even thinking that as a kid, because my dumbass as a kid would be like, I gotta do this every day, man. Every week, I gotta come back to this creek. Next thing you know, there's gonna be a stoppage like down the creek of just papers, like bad grades.
Well, luckily, it was, like, literally, like, right behind my house. It's like a
Right.
1-2 minute walk.
That's so funny, dude. Yeah, I don't know, because I mean, when I was younger, I was like gifted and all that. Because, and I was that little shit that I was trying to flex.
Yeah,
And I was like, I'm gifted, man. Like I could go, and then I don't know, something clicked in me in 5th grade because I was either gonna go to the magnet middle school
yeah.
or I was gonna go to Brandon, and I don't know why. I was like, I'm gonna go to Brandon.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, is it really worth like
Yeah.
being smart and then having to go to school with smart kids and then
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that?
Yeah.
And I was like, or I can go to Brandon and have a relaxed time and still be smart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, I'm gonna go to Brandon.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, like growing up too, like I think the only time I had a bad grade. My last report card to come in after graduation, my grandmother got it, and it was like A-A-A-A-D. And it was like some like elective class because I was like advanced. So I only needed 2 classes to pass.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Everything
Yeah,
else
yeah.
was just like they make you take it,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought was dumb because I
Yeah.
thought I was gonna have 2 classes
Yeah.
and go home.
Oh, no. Hell no.
No, freaking Virginia Beach, man. They did that. They're like, no, you gotta take all 6 classes. I'm like, oh my god, you guys suck. Anyway, so I got a D, and then my grandmother called my mom. She was like, hey, he got a D in his class, and my mom's like, he already graduated with honors. What else do you need? What else more do you want from him? Like, he's already done. It's okay.
Just gotta take that deed to the grave. with
Yeah.
us.
I was like in Georgia at the time because I just graduated and just taking a vacation. I was like, I was just weak. I was like,
That's
she was like, how'd you get a D? I was like, man, I checked out. Like, I'm done. I already knew I was gonna pass. I'm not gonna fail.
Dude.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, and I was like, I graduated honors though, right? Like, all the rest were A's. It
Dude.
balances out.
Yeah, I know. Like, oh yeah, mentioning that magnet, I had the same thing with the magnet school, but I was like, I had too many friends. And I was like, hell no, I'm not going to a magnet school. This is whack. Like,
Yeah, like,
I'm not gonna know anyone. It was hard enough to make friends in elementary school. Like,
Yeah, and you just started like having friends in 5th grade and
Yeah.
stuff, and you're like, you expect to see them next year.
and they were gonna take that out. They're like, oh, but you, and then they let me just go to regular school because I moved here and I like picked up different traditions, like, so I got picked on a bunch in like 2nd grade and stuff
Right.
for my accent at first, and then for like all these little things. Like, I just,
Dude, 2nd grade, that's kind of young, dude.
it was brutal, man.
Because to me, like when I was back then, I just like, oh, that kid talks weird, but that's pretty much it. Like,
Like, I raised my hand with like a pointer finger.
Mhm.
Everybody laughed, like
Like
joked.
this? You went
Yeah.
like this?
This is-
And they joked you for that? What?
It was
Where did you
sad.
go, Tallwood?
I went to
Elementary?
Woodstock.
Oh, I never heard anything about Woodstock.
I mean, I still have my friend that I met in 2nd grade. I'm still like best friends with, named Brandon. But like, dude, I got picked on, man. It was
What the
savage.
hell, dude?
It was savage.
Oh my god, dude! I remember one of the things in so in this is a story a lot of my friends know already, so I'm not really embarrassed to tell about. But like, it's either in 1st or 2nd grade. I found like a porno magazine in my room because it used to be in my uncle's room, and my dumbass decided to bring it to school.
Nice.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is, but I think I gave like an ad, like a small ad, like this big. Of course, I had like a naked girl on it to some chick, and her mom found it when she was doing the laundry, and so they brought me up there, and they were like,
Oh,
Yeah.
they snitched on you?
"Yeah," and I was like, and they're like, where did you find the magazine? Whatever. I was like, I found it outside, and they were like, you already caught it. They're like, where did you find it? I was like, I found it outside. I didn't know what else to say. Like, it's not even because like, oh, I'm a badass. I'm not gonna. It was like I was scared. I didn't know what to say. I was like, I found it outside, and then it sucks because my mom came to the school, picked me up. She was yelling at me. I don't know if it's because she was embarrassed or whatever. And then I get home and like it was crazy because all my cousins knew about it. Like I had this magazine that we found and shit, and then. So everyone in my class knew what happened. Everyone in my class, and I know some of the same people that went to Tallwood with us, and I know one guy. His name is Chris. He didn't go to Tallwood. He went to Salem from middle school, but I remember seeing him like a year ago, and he was like, "Hey, what's up, man?" I was like, "What's up?" He was like, "Hey, remember back in first grade?" I was like, "Shut up, let it go." You do that every night now. Like I was ahead of the game, and I was just like, dude, it's funny now because I'm just like, how the hell did I get? I remember because my stepdad too. He was like, hey, like, he wasn't mad. He was just like, I mean, I did the same thing too. It's like if your mom's mad though, I mean, she's mad. You gotta do whatever she does. I was like. Dude, that was like my most traumatic thing for a while. For a good minute, I was like, everybody knows I had a freaking porno magazine on. Oh, this is ridiculous, and I was just like, holy shit, dude. And it was like a whole big deal, and the teacher was like, should we let him back in the class? And then the students were like, yeah, I guess so. like
Holy moly!
It was first or second grade, and I was like, "This is,
dang, that's pretty
this
savage.
is insane, dude."
Yeah. Holy.
I mean, I'm like 8 or whatever. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm like just looking at this picture of this girl.
Why did you end up giving that picture to the girl?
I don't even remember. That's the thing too. Even back then, I remember. I was like, and then I was like, "Oh, that did happen. I did give this. Like, she wanted that."
Yeah.
I totally forgot about it. I didn't even know. Like, it was that small of a thing, and that kind of taught me, like, man, you really got to pay attention to what you're doing. Because I was like, that's such a small thing.
Yeah.
Like, in my mind, like, that was just me, like, if I gave someone $1 and I found out later this person used this dollar to kill someone or something, I'm like, dude, all I did was give him $1. Like, how's that on me? Like, that's how small it was to me. And I was like, man, I gotta. I think that's what made me even more straight edge after that, and I like got really smarter and stuff. I was like, oh my god, dude, this is embarrassing as hell.
That's crazy.
Just because it was a big deal.
First grade, dude. That's insane.
And then my mom was mad at my uncle because he was like, "Why did you leave this shit?" Oh, that was great. It's so funny thinking about it now. It's freaking hilarious. Because I mean, it's so normal now. And holy shit!
I couldn't even imagine 8-year-old self
in
that situation.
I was scared as shit. I was like, I found it outside, like just like that. I was like, of course she wasn't the principal. They took me to the principal's office. Yeah. They weren't believing that. They were like,
I mean, you're 8 years old. I mean, what more could?
Yeah. And then my mom had the whole talk with me and was like, you know what that's for? Blah, blah, blah. It was like making babies. Are you having a baby? I was like, no. I'm 8. Like, I'm not having a baby.
Oh, my gosh.
I think she was just more embarrassed than anything. And I understand that. But it's just so funny because I was like, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, you just see naked girls. You hear about it. It's like a taboo thing. And I think what made it worse too, it wasn't just like a Playboy where it's just like a girl who's naked. It was like, it was intense stuff.
Oh,
like, wow. Yeah, so that made it worse. I don't even know what happened to that magazine. Like, I don't know what happened to the evidence. I'm pretty sure I threw it away.
It's framed in your principal's office.
Yeah, something. That was insane. It was so messed up too because that girl lives like, well, I don't know if she still lives there, but she's like down the street from her.
Oh, dang, dude.
Yeah. So I don't think the mom ever knew that it wasn't me who lived here. Like, it was insane, dude. That's crazy.
Dang.
Never forget that. And that's why I was like, when you were talking about like you getting bullied or so just for like doing this, I was like, dude, it took a lot for me to get started getting joked on just because of that.
Yeah,
Just because of that one thing. Like
Yeah.
before that, I mean, everyone was weird. Everyone knew that. Like Woodstock is relentless.
Well, it's because like I also came like it's not like I came at the start of the year. I came in like the middle of the year, so I
Oh,
was
you
already
got all eyes on you.
I was already the new kid,
Oh,
and
no.
like didn't have really any friends, and
Yeah.
you gotta like figure it out on your own. And teachers were trying to be extra nice to you and everything. And also like I was like the only like Muslim kid there, and nobody knew what like a Muslim kid was. And like I can't eat pork.
Right.
And then when Ramadan came about, I started Ramadan when I was really young. And Ramadan you don't eat from sunrise to sunset. And like there's like at lunch, they like line you up and you go and like, I'm not eating. And they're like, what do you mean you're not eating? They're like, I'm not eating.
Oh man, especially back then too. Like
Yeah.
you said like second grade, so that's like right after, you know what I mean? Like right after 9/11.
And
stuff.
then it
That's
was.
insane,
I was in my. I remember that day. I was like in my art teacher's class, and they made us draw pictures about it. And I didn't understand the implication at the time at all. I was just like, whatever.
It's just buildings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was that was a lot. I think that had a pretty big impact on my life that I didn't realize at the time. But yeah, like so I wouldn't eat lunch, and like this, it became a big deal. And my teacher called my parents, and they weren't answering their phone and then they called like a family friend, and they're like, "Why is he not eating?" And it was like a big deal. Yeah, it was like a big deal for like no reason and all this.
Do you guys not like? It's literally. Well, I guess they have Google and everything.
I mean,
then, but
they don't
still.
want this like 9-year-old kid
Not
to just
eating,
be like,
yeah.
"Hey, I'm not eating because of my religion." Or, like it's crazy or whatever.
Yeah, but still, like, you should know, like you know what I mean? Like, someone should know.
A lot of them were, but the cool thing is a lot of them were super interested.
Oh, they were asking.
Yeah,
so
they like asked me like,
yeah.
and then I think my third grade teacher, she was really cool about it. She even got me like for Eid. I celebrate Eid, instead of doing like a Christmas present, she did like an Eid present for me, and she gave me like the celebrating
really cool.
Ramadan book and all this stuff. And she got that book for the class because I was in the class to help everyone.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
She was super cool. Yeah,
I like teachers like that.
Yeah, she was really awesome.
Like, man, I remember my music teacher in grade school. She was like, everyone had to do one of the plays.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, already in like fourth grade, and I was like, cool, I haven't done one yet. Like, I've been under the radar.
Yeah.
And then she was like we're all singing and stuff, and she was like, you come here. I was like, oh, crap. She was like, all right, you stand here, sing. And I was like, whatever song we were singing that day, and I was like singing. She was like, you're gonna be in the next play. I was like, crap, dude. But like now that I'm thinking about it, because like I like singing now, like not enough to where I'm like gonna like, oh, I'm gonna be a singer. I just like singing, and I was like, man, I think that's what started it for me, because I never thought I thought it's like, so you either could sing or you couldn't, not that you could train it.
Yeah.
And it was really cool going through that, and I mean I was just one of the singers, like the little choir thing. It was sweet. It was dope. I remember it was like Alice in Wonderland. I was just thinking like, I'd rather be here in the choir than one of those guys on stage that have to paint their face and stuff. But you never know. I might have wanted to do acting if that happened. Because my mom, before she wanted me to go to auditions when I was younger. But she was like, you can dance, sing, and act. And I was like, I don't want to do that. That's not cool. Look what happened in middle school. I started dancing for like 9 years. Like halfway through high school, all of a sudden I wanted to sing. Now I'm in like trying to get in the movie business with film production. I'm like, damn, I could have done this a long time ago. I was like, man, like it's so weird the way you think, and it all changes.
Yeah.
Once you start releasing stuff like that, like, oh man, that's not cool. You know, guys don't sing or whatever. Like we don't do that shit.
Yeah.
It's like that's like all I want to do now. You know what I mean? That's why I'm doing a podcast.
That's true. Yeah.
It's so interesting, and like. Is like one thing I wanted to ask you too, because I remember you talking about that. Is do you still know like German fluently in Bosnian?
Oh hell no, I forgot all my German, dude.
Yeah, and
I know like some phrases, like I mean like the easy ones are like Guten Tag and Auf Wiedersehen and stuff like that. But I went 2 years ago. I did this whole like Euro trip thing, and I saw all my mom's family was like scattered throughout Europe. but a lot are in Austria, and I went to Austria and I heard German, and I was like a foreign language to me. I think a lot of people told me if I try to learn it and everything, I could probably pick it up pretty
Like
easily.
way faster than most people. Yeah.
But I haven't really tried. I still speak Bosnian. I speak Bosnian pretty fluently.
Probably, I'm pretty sure your family probably speaks it at the house. That's why.
Yeah, I mean now it's become more of like a Bosnian English mix,
Right.
Because we've lived in the States for so long. But it's pretty funny because when I went for my Euro trip thing, I saw all my mom's sisters and everything, and like I would speak to them, and they're like, I'd have like this strong like American accent with it, so they'd like joke me. But it was pretty cool. Like they're pretty happy that how fluent I was with it and everything. And then I speak Arabic too. My Arabic's definitely better than my German because my German's practically not there. But Arabic I need to work on a little bit.
Dude, that's insane though. You know 3 languages.
Yeah, dude.
You know how like upset my grandparents are that I don't really understand or even speak Tagalog.
You don't?
Well, I know some of it because obviously you're gonna pick it up.
Yeah.
But like it's because my grandmother on my mom's side, our family, were Ilocano, so that's a different dialect.
Yeah.
And then my grandparents on my dad's side, they're Tagalog, so that's the original one that everyone hears.
Okay.
So it's like different dialects. It's like Jairus is Ilocano, so he knows more Ilocano, I think, too.
Okay.
And it's just like that's why I wanted to ask you too, because I talked to like Jairus and them. They were like, "Man, I can't." Like Jairus and John, they came here when they were like 10, so they're speaking straight Tagalog or Ilocano, whatever they were speaking, until they're 10. And I'd be like, "So can you speak now?" They'd be like, "Nah, I totally forgot." I was like, "Dude, that's your language for the first 10 years." Well, let's say you learned at 5. That's still 5 years of language.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think that you could forget that, but you can.
Yeah. Forgot all my German for the most part.
Yeah.
I think I want to try to relearn it, but like I got to make time, you know?
I don't even know how you make those connections. Because, like, you know, I mean, everyone has to take language in high school. So when I started learning Spanish, I just did it because I thought it was, like, the closest to Tagalog. Like, I could pick it up pretty easy. And I did. But it's so weird to say that you could hold that many languages.
Yeah.
Like, I know people who know, like, 7 languages.
Yeah. That's pretty wild.
How do you not get mixed up? You know, but I guess it's just something.
Well, there's that one thing I read where you like pick up different personalities with different languages you speak and everything. So you like almost not like that you become a different person, but you like perceive yourself differently as you speak that language. So maybe that's how some languages are pretty close together in origin and all that stuff.
That's actually pretty cool. Well, yeah. I mean, a lot. What did I say? A lot comes from Latin and stuff like that.
Yeah. I remember learning about the branches. I forgot about it, but different branches, and they're all similar and all that jazz.
Dude, like every language is, to me, every language is a lot easier to learn than English. Because it's like Spanish, it's like you, we, I. It's just all one verb, and you kind of just mess with it.
Yeah.
And English is like some dumb shit like watched, and like other shit like that.
That reminds me. I remember I was in third. I don't remember. I was in like 2nd or 3rd grade, and we were doing like I sucked at learning English. I did not know how to spell, and I didn't know how to use tenses right and all verbs and adjectives. Like it was just weird putting a sentence together. But I remember it was like a spelling quiz of all those words with silent G's in them.
Oh no!
Like night and like just all those words with silent G's in them. And like I remember I was like, man, this is so easy. And like I just like peeked. You know, you can like always like see someone else's test just if you peek. So I saw all these G's and I like looked at it. I'm like, man, this dumb person putting all these G's. Like, who puts G's in these words? And like I remember getting my test back and all my answers were wrong. And I was so dumbfounded. Like I was like, why is there a G?
Yeah, like what? That's not thought. You know what I mean? Like
what the hell? Like I was like, what is this language? Oh my god, I had so much trouble with English. I still like struggle with I don't know what they're called. They're like those like common phrases like what's one? I'm blanking on it now.
Like English phrases?
Yeah, you know, like those like don't count your chickens before they hatch, like something like that.
I don't even know those, dude. Man. Like
yeah, like
that's a cultural thing. I don't think that's
maybe it is a cultural thing.
Like they'd be like, you have to die on this hill. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? What hill? I need people to explain it to me. You know what I mean? Like, I know most of them now because I have friends who explain it.
Yeah,
like, I don't know what the hell you're saying, dude. Like die on this hill. What is this? Like you have to like basically commit to your belief of a situation or whatever.
Oh,
You're either gonna die on
you
this hill or you're
stick
gonna
to
move
it.
on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, you stick. I was like, why don't you just say that? Like, stick to it.
Yeah, I
Like,
know. That's what I was
stop
like,
saying die on this hill or count your chickens. It's like,
yeah.
I don't even have chickens, man. Like, it's insane, dude. You said you had a best friend since like second grade.
Yeah, man. His name's Brandon Busky, dude. Like, he lived in my neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
and then we went to the same elementary school. And it was really traumatic because in 5th grade he moved.
Oh yeah.
He moved like really far and he ended up going to a different middle school and a different high school. But his his mom's husband, who was his stepdad, like his parents were like owners of the kind of the neighborhood that we lived in, so we paid rent to them.
Crap.
Yeah, so we paid rent to them and all that stuff. So we kept a connection. And during fifth grade, his mom would always drop him off at our house because he like didn't want to take him out middle of the year for the 5th grade year. And yeah, I saw him last time. I saw him about 2 weeks ago. He just bought a house. He's getting married in October.
Damn, dude.
I'm gonna be in his wedding, dude. Like,
Yeah, we're getting to that age. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Where it's not just like, oh, you moved because we're going to school.
yeah.
No, it's like we're moving because we want to. And it's like, yo, what? Like, that's insane, man. Yeah, like I've had friends like that too. Like Jake, I've known my whole life. Like,
Really?
They're family friends. Same thing with Joe.
Oh, I
Even
didn't know
though
that.
my first like memory of Joe, because Joe used to live literally like around the corner right there.
Yeah.
Me and Joe were in the same kindergarten class, and that's my first memory of him. But apparently, like our families are really close too.
Yeah.
So Jake and Joe and like a whole bunch of other, mainly Filipinos, like are pretty close with. Like I remember Jake for a long time. We have like all these photos of us when we were small and stuff.
Oh, dang, that's crazy.
Yeah. So, but it's funny because I mean, me and Jake kind of, I don't want to say grew up together, but since our parents hung out. I think the last, like, I remember Jake from like, I was like 5 to like about 9, and then I didn't see him anymore because then he got older and he was in middle school, and I was like we never went to the same schools. It was just more like we only saw each other when our parents hung out, and it used to be frequent. Then it started dying out more because I think all of our parents are about 40, like 45 right now, so they were young when they had us.
Yeah.
So like about 7 years after, they're all like mid-20s, and they're where we're at now. So they're doing that thing, and so I didn't see Jake for a while or Joe until middle school, and I saw Jake again. He was there. Joe was in middle
That's
school.
wild.
Yeah, and then me and Jake started hanging out again, like on our own terms because of like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 on PS2, PS3.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's insane. And that's why like this whole gaming thing is interesting because I always talk about like Jairus and them. I know they played Xbox with you guys and like Eric Prophet and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
on PS3, it was like me, Jake, and like
Console
some other
wars.
people. Yeah, and this is a whole old console war thing, and now we're all on the PCs, and we're like, hey, what's up?
PC Master Race. Yeah.
It's just insane, and that's like one of those things like that has carried our friendships, like just gaming in general, and that's why I was like, it's my segue to the whole Discord thing that we're talking about. See how good that was? See how I carried that? Yeah.
Smooth.
This is why I've been picked up after 6 episodes. But yeah, like you were saying, like because you're like you said you're somewhere in the middle of Virginia,
Yeah.
nowhere, not really near anyone, and you said like Discord has been one of those things that kind of help you after like a long day. Because if we didn't address this, I'm pretty sure we did. He's in residency, so that means he's a doctor. It's ridiculous. It's insane. So you're working all the time. You always tell us about your 24s and stuff like that. And it's just like you were saying about Discord. Like, what were you saying about that?
Dude, yeah, like I had to, like after a long day and everything, it's not, I don't have anyone really to come home to or anything like that. But like, I know if I get around like 7 p.m., if I've had a pretty good day at work and everything, get home at a reasonable time, I can turn on Discord and like at least five, six of you guys will be on. And it's like being back in high school and just like hanging out in a room.
Yeah,
and,
even though we're not.
Yeah. And like people are playing different games, but it doesn't matter. Everyone's just in the same room and just chilling. It's been awesome. It's been freaking awesome.
Yeah, that's the cool part about it too, is because we'll have like 12 people in a room, but only like 3 people playing one game,
Yeah.
2 people playing another game, 4 people playing another game. We're all talking shit to each other. We're not even on the same games. Like,
If you watch this, Kevin, you suck.
yeah, I knew you were gonna say that. Oh my god! Now he has to watch it. I'm gonna tell him to watch it. He's
Yeah.
going like, "When does he say?" I was like, "You gotta watch the whole thing, man. You gotta figure it out. When does he say?"
I'm talking about Kevin Rochin, not Kevin Yang.
Oh my god! But yeah, it's just insane because this is like it's starting to be. Well, it's not starting. It already has. It's like my normal thing to do now.
Yeah, dude.
It's just when I get home, it's just get on. Even if I'm not playing,
Yeah.
like I'm just doing work on the computer or something. I'm just on Discord and we just all talking and doing
Yeah.
whatever. Everyone asking their own questions and stuff. Roka asked you to deliver his baby.
It was pretty funny. I went like earlier. Then I saw some of my other high school friends, and one of my other friends was like, her name's Morgan, and she's like, "You're gonna deliver my baby." I was like, "Okay, I guess."
If you want, yeah. You want me to be that close to you, I guess. But hey,
I'll be
it's all
there.
on you. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, it's just insane because it's just times like this, especially sometimes in Discord. Like, I'll come like having not necessarily a bad day, but it's just like one of those because you know me, like
Yeah.
one of those days where I'm just thinking like really bad, and I come in Discord and just play some games. I'll be quiet for a while, and everyone, it's like you get brought up to speed by everyone else's
Yeah.
mood and stuff, and you're like, okay, well, I could be a regular person now. You don't have to be happy necessarily or bad or whatever, and you just get it's just normal days, like you said. It's like in high school when we used to see each other in the morning.
Yeah.
It's just getting your day started, getting
Mhm.
that rush. It was interesting because I earlier we were all on and there was no one on, and I don't know why I started feeling not really anxious. I just started feeling weird. I walked like 4 miles because I was
Dang.
like man, well, one because I've been eating like trash lately and I needed to walk or do something. So I ended up walking and I walked. It's fucked up because I walked to the smoke store to get some shisha for the hookah. But I mean, it was like 4 miles. And
My dad's friends call that the breathing treatment. Like we're playing some sports or something. They're like, "Hold on, I need to take a quick breathing treatment real quick."
oh, that's insane. They're all like, your dad's like a doctor too, isn't he?
Well, he's not the one doing it. It's always
Yeah,
like
it's
friends that
always
like smoking.
That's so funny, dude. But yeah, and then that's what I like about our little Discord community I have. And everyone, you know, people come home and we'll like set something up and we'll do that. Even the guys that we don't get to see every day, like I like for real, like I don't see Jake and them for weeks at a time
Yeah.
because they're all busy and I'm busy too.
Yeah.
And they're especially them, they have work and like Jairus with his work schedule and like how he's like I probably shouldn't say about that because he don't want to talk about that stuff. But basically, like he's just busy doing his own things. Like Joe's in nursing school now,
Yeah.
which is insane. Like
That was crazy because we were there when he like switched. He was
Yeah.
because he was working with Jake and
Ralph
Was
Yeah.
it Ralph? Well, Ralph kind of came on.
Well,
recently,
he was a tech.
but he was like a long time person there and all this stuff. And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna go into school and all that stuff.
Yeah, he just dropped it and went to school, and I was like,
just like,
yo.
no. That's crazy.
That's insane. Yeah, and I started thinking about that earlier because I knew you were coming over for that. I was like, when did we start getting into this? I can't even remember now.
Dude, yeah.
Like it feels like sometimes it feels like it's only been a couple of months, and sometimes it feels like it's been years that we've been in that Discord.
Yeah, no, it's pretty funny because like we went out. Most of us went out to eat to that Korean barbecue. It was like Monday, I think, the first day I was here.
It was Sunday. Yeah.
And it's like there isn't that much to talk about. I mean, we still found
Because we
something-
talk about
'cause we
stuff.
talk about we talk all the time. It's not like we're missing anything. It's cool that I met Los for the first time, so I got to see his face.
Actually, that's the thing too. Is like I've been talking to Los for like how many months now? I've never seen him in
Yeah.
person yet.
He's this tall, lanky dude. Kind of reminds me of like Shaggy. Right?
Oh, I can see that. I can see that with Los.
And I met Caleb. I saw Ray for the first time. I haven't seen Ray in forever. Rocha I saw, I think, sometime last year or something.
We went to B-Dubs or whatever.
Was it then?
I don't even know. See, I don't even remember when that happened.
I don't even remember.
Because we were in Discord before that, and that seems like that was a hot
Oh,
minute
yeah,
ago.
yeah. I do remember it. Because
Yeah.
that's when we were popping on Smash and everything, too.
Yeah.
Because someone brought their Switch and we play it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane, man. Just to think like what's happened like online and like how like it's created so many different relationships
Yeah.
between people. Like you said, like with Ralph and them.
Yeah, yeah.
And stuff like that day, like because we went to a rave the other day,
Yeah.
and it was just like, because I mean I knew Ralph, I knew you in high school, but I didn't hang out with you guys for real.
Yeah, Ralphie.
We were all cool with each other, but we didn't hang out for real.
Yeah, Ralphie, I like mainly just hung out with in sports and stuff, and like play video games with him sometimes. And stuff like. I didn't think, and then like got invited to the Norva 2 days ago, and it was crazy, absolutely insane.
Like if you would have told me I would have been hanging out with you guys like back in high school, I would have been like, oh, I don't know, I guess. Like that would have been it. But now it's just like, man, we talk like every day basically.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah.
Everyone, all 15 of us in Scrub Squad, even though there's like 120 people in that group.
Yeah, because everybody keeps adding someone.
Yeah.
And then like it's crazy because like no one will be on, and then one person gets on, and
it's
then
just like,
one.
ding, ding,
boom,
ding,
boom,
ding.
boom.
Everyone's just waiting for that one person.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just it's like Ricky, Operator Ting.
Mm-hmm.
Like we just met him a month ago, and he's on like almost every time now.
And he's like his girlfriend's streaming now.
Yeah, we got her.
And like we spammed her page and all that stuff.
we got her to affiliate, so she's affiliate now on Twitch.
That's cool.
It's insane, dude. Like, and this is the type of connections like people like ask about. Like they want to make these types of like relationships like in college, but the thing is it's a little bit more than that. It's more like everyone's kind of just helping each other out.
Yeah, yeah.
It's ridiculous. 'Cause I remember like Kevin was supposed to move before. Like,
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah.
he was
gonna
move
be
to,
gone,
like,
gone.
Yeah, to like Washington or something.
Yeah.
And now he's still here because he
Yeah.
found a good job here.
Yeah.
And then Los, like it's so interesting hearing everyone's stories from where they come from. Like Los is from Texas, like the bottom of
I don't know
Texas.
much
Yeah,
of Los.
and like Los, it's weird talking about it without him here, but like like basically he's from Texas and he met him. He knows everyone through Kevin because him and Kevin were in the military.
Yeah,
together.
yeah. They live together now.
Yeah, well, they live together now, but it's just like, because I was talking to him earlier, and I was like, man, you're from Texas? Like, what are you doing here? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's just so weird to think about stuff like that. How
Yeah,
did you
yeah.
end up here? Just because you got stationed here or something?
Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
was like, I like it here. And I was like, oh, that's sweet, dude.
Dude, that's pretty cool. Dude, this Discord has been one of the best things. Like, props to Jairus, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Josh.
Josh didn't even know it was going to be like
Honestly.
this. He thought it was going to be
Yeah.
like 10 people maybe that we had. Now there's like a solid 15 people, and everyone always talks about it too. We're like, damn, this Discord popping.
Yeah.
Like 15 to 20 people in one Discord, in one chat, and even
Yeah.
though we have like 5 different voice chats.
And like there's some like Larry. I don't know. Do you know Larry?
Yeah, I know who he is, but I don't really know who he is. That's what I'm
Dude,
saying.
like I knew Larry pretty well in high school, and like I don't know how he ended up in that Discord, but like
He did.
I played games with him now and like talked to him, and like it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like it's so cool because everyone's kind of like, I don't even know if it's our age or the whole thing about gaming culture, but everyone's kind of just chill when they get in.
Oh yeah.
Like it's kind of messed up, but I'll be acting like that's my house when I go in because I see someone in there with like 5 people I don't know. I would go in there, but like, hey, what are you guys doing? We're playing this. I was like, oh, can I join? Like, sure. Before that's like an insane thing to do, like back on PS3 and Xbox.
Yeah, yeah.
You wouldn't do that. You'd be like, oh, I'm kind of playing with my friends. Like, I'm like, oh, I don't want to play with them. Like, let me know when you're done with them. Like, now it's just like jump into Discord and be like, oh, I'm playing this or whatever.
And we're at like an age too now. Like, it's not easy to make friends like this.
It's not. It's so weird.
Yeah.
That's what I keep telling people too. I was like, we're like everyone right now is kind of just starting their careers.
Yeah, yeah.
It's hard to make friends. Most of your friends are friends from work.
Yeah.
That's what, and the thing is, like, yeah, it's you can find some really good friendships from work, but a lot of that's just work based. Sometimes, well, not a lot. I don't want to say. Sometimes it's just work based. You can find some cool people, but it's just like most of the time you're kind of just keeping up that. It's like being friends with people in school that we'd never talked to since high school.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It was just all run on by the fact that we see each other every day.
Yeah.
And that's why it's like so crazy that we have this many friends from high school who still talk to each other. I thought that was insane when we did Barrio, like back in the day. And now I have like literally over like 20, 25 friends. And before it was like this.
Yeah.
It was like 2 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's really crazy to see where we're at now, and like not even just like job wise, but just like how things are laying out. Like how many more years of residency do you have? You said like a
So
year
I'm in a
left, right?
3-year residency, and I'm 1.5 years in now, so I'm halfway through pretty
That's
much.
insane. So
Yeah.
another year and a half, you're done, dude.
Yeah.
You're full fledged, and you get to do your thing.
Yeah, I might do an extra year in like sports med or sleep med, maybe sleep med.
That's
I'm really
pretty cool, though.
considering. And then because it's a pretty cush lifestyle.
I mean, that's what you want to do,
Yeah,
man.
man. I'm trying to live a good life, but I mean, medicine is pretty rewarding within itself, so
That's true.
it'll work out either way.
You're still like a year older than me. That's insane because like I know people who are like 28
Yeah.
just getting into residency.
I'm pretty fortunate. Yeah.
Just getting into residency.
I got through it pretty fast. Yeah, what am I? Yeah, I'm 26, so I'll be like 27 when I finish. 27, almost 28.
Yeah, that's insane because my stepmom's brother, he's a doctor, and he didn't finish until he was like 31.
Yeah. No, like I happen to be like the youngest out of my class who graduated.
Holy
But it
crap.
might have been like a couple months younger than like the
That
next
was
person.
still
but
though. I
that
mean,
was pretty cool.
You and that other guy who's just as only a couple months older than you. That's
Yeah.
insane, man.
It's pretty cool. My dad always hypes it like it's like the biggest deal in the world. But I mean, it is what it is. At the same time, I've always been like, man, what if I like experience life, you know? Because a lot of people are like, I think the average age for like med school people are like, it's like 25 to 28, I think, when I was in school in general. So I was 20, yeah, I was like 20 when I started med school. 2021,
Damn,
yeah.
man. Holy shit, dude. Well, yeah, I mean, you did all this AP stuff, and you better
Yeah.
be ahead. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like came in as like a sophomore, almost junior,
Holy
because
crap.
ODU took all my credits, man.
That's pretty sweet, though, man.
Yeah.
You did it smart too, because I know most people who like want to do that. They'll like go to UVA and like
Yeah,
go here because it's like all medical stuff, and which
Yeah.
is sweet. But then it's like, man, if as long as you get there,
Oh,
you know what I
dude.
mean?
yeah, dude. I remember I was in med school and some of my good friends, and I was like, "So where'd you graduate?" And they're like, "Princeton."
Oh
And
my
I'm
gosh,
like,
dude.
I went to ODU. I'm going to the same school. Let's go. Because the way it worked out, basically, with the AP classes, I basically did TCC.
At
in high
Tallinn.
school.
That's smart.
That's how it just worked out. I didn't know, but it just worked out like that. And then ODU, I didn't have to take really much prereqs, and you didn't have to do a minor where I was at. And I was like, I'm just gonna do medicine, partly because my dad was like, you should be a doctor, and I was like,
Sure.
okay. I did well, and then the thing is, if you do well at like I mean, obviously ODU is not like a low tier college, but it's like a mid tier compared to
Yeah.
like, it's not Ivy League or anything like that.
Yeah, it's
If
like
you-
better than a state university, but it's like
Exactly.
it's not tech. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Or UVA.
So it looks good if you do well at those programs, and you can sell yourself better. And like, if you open the book, you're already like gonna do better than like 50% of the people there.
That is true because I passed the class and I wasn't in that class at all
Yeah,
this semester. Sorry if you're watching this. I only went for the exams
yeah,
and I still passed with an A. And I was like, well, that's because I'm good at taking tests. But
Yeah.
you know, like if I was an average student, like they would still get a C.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Med school definitely gives you that reality check though, because it's like all the smart people, like all the tops of your high school, all the tops of your college. That's who's in med school. So you think you're smart, you get punched in the throat. You're like, let me show you what smart people really are like.
It's like the top 1% and who's the top 1% of that 1%. Yeah.
Because I like rode through high school and college for sure. I was like, oh, this ain't that bad. And then I got to med school and I got a reality check. Like,
Oh shit.
you got to do your ish. You know, this ain't like,
At least you stepped up to it because I know a lot of people who would do that because they like
yeah.
I coasted through high school too. Kind of coasting through ODU, not really, but
Yeah.
that's more of a sometimes I don't like going to class type of thing.
yeah.
But I know some people who like made it to like their third to fourth year of college and then all of a sudden got a little bit tough and they backed out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's really cool that you. Well, I mean, I wouldn't see why you wouldn't, but you know, like you're already
yeah.
in
No,
med
I get
school.
it. Yeah.
But that's insane, dude. Like, I bet you, like you said, if people coming from Princeton and stuff, I bet you everyone was smart in that shit, dude.
Dude, everybody was smart. It blew my mind, man. I met some really smart people. And my roommates were freaking awesome.
Yeah, you're saying that they really affected you too.
Oh,
like-
yeah, dude. It was pretty funny. So like, I was Muslim, and I was like, there's someone that posted on Facebook. His name's Alexander, but I call him Secundar because it's like the Arabic way of saying Alexander. and he posted like, "Hey, I'm a Muslim dude looking for Muslim roommates," and then he found someone named Imran, and so we found this townhouse that was like almost $2,000, and it was like maybe a mile walk from the city, but we needed to get one more person because to make it like super affordable, it would have been like almost like $500 average for everyone.
That's not bad either.
Yeah. And we found our token white guy. That was James. And now Sekunder's, he's in Hershey, Pennsylvania doing optho. Imran's in Ohio State doing optho and it's like eye doctor stuff.
Yeah.
And then James is in Austin, Texas. He's doing a pediatric residency. His is 3 years too.
That's crazy, dude.
And I was talking to James the other day, and he was like, "Yo, bro, I'm looking into sleep med." I was like, "Get the fuck out of here! I'm looking into sleep med." We both are like super laid back. We're smart people, but we're like super laid back. He's probably a little bit smarter than I am, I think. But so we might apply to like the same fellowship program and try to go together or something. That would be pretty wild.
In my like, from what I've seen, like a lot of people who are like the smartest, like I'm not smart, I don't think, but intellectuals, they're more laid back than they are aggressive. Like in terms of trying to prove something, you know what I mean? Like Jairus is really smart. Like in my opinion, he's really smart and he's super laid back and everything. And most of, not calling anyone out, but like, out of our friends, these are our friends. So I could say this. Most of the people who are super aggressive, they're not. I don't want to say they're dumb. They're not dumb. It's just they're kind of one-minded.
I get what you. Yeah, I know what you mean.
They're not good at critical thinking problems.
Yeah,
I should say. That doesn't mean they're not dumb. It's just But honestly, sometimes like in my life, I thought like, man, I wish I was just like that. Like I wish I was like all I had to do was just, oh, you just gotta think more. Like no, because a lot of shit that happens to me is like. You're thinking way too much. You're thinking way too much. It's just like this. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, and I got to fight that whole thing.
Yeah.
And then it's like, it never win that. And it's like, sometimes I like growing up, I thought like, man, I wish I was like, I say dumb, but I don't really mean dumb. But you know what I mean? Like,
one track mind.
Yeah. Because those are the people who do pretty well.
Yeah.
Most of the time, because they'd be happy with anything.
Yep.
Well, not just happy with anything, but if you're like more easygoing and laid back like we are, then if I was more simple-minded, then I wouldn't care.
Yeah, I used to have a lot of trouble sleeping. Like you mentioned, you have problems sleeping in general, but like I just couldn't like lie still, you know.
Right.
And my mind would be racing and all this stuff, and I mean, not necessarily because I'm smart or anything like that. But I was just like, that happened. And then the best thing that ever happened to me, I like watch like Twitch or something on my phone because it's literally mind numbing. And it literally
and
just
you get
turns
distracted.
me off.
I do the same thing.
Gosh, yeah. And I just, like within 10, 15 minutes, I fall asleep. And then I just wake up like whenever I need to wake up. It's been the best case.
No, I do kind of the same thing too because every night I watch The Office. I'm not even watching it.
Yeah.
I just know it's on.
It's like autopilot. Yeah.
And I've watched The Office probably like a good 20 times just because of that. Technically.
I have a really good, just because you're saying that, I have a really good friend who like watched the Friends in the Office. She's doing residency here in Norfolk.
Right.
She's in the ER. Her name's Como. And she can legit, any episode that's on, she can recite like the script word for word, like before they even say it. And it's just it's hella annoying when you're like watching an episode,
Right.
but it's mind blowing, dude. It blows my mind every single time.
That's insane. I can remember most of it, but not like word by word.
Yeah,
I like, I know this is about that.
Yeah. No, she spills the beans right before. Oh man, it's crazy.
Yeah, those are like those cult followings for both those shows, Friends, because I grew up with Friends because my mom liked it. And, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't like Friends. And I was like, oh, no, I kind of liked it now because because my mom watched it. I watched it with her.
Yeah.
And it's just this weird dynamic because that's like how everyday life was in the 90s, before that. Like, you can see the differences now between like dating then and dating now.
Yeah.
And I always tell this to people, like dating and friends in general, way people interact. Mine's kind of a mix of like back then and now. Like dating, I'm a little bit more old school about like, I mean, I'm not going to take it to heart when we're dating. You're supposed to be like just dating and like getting to know each other and stuff. And a lot of people don't take it like that nowadays. And like, remember back in high school, everyone's like, "Oh, I like you too." I guess we're dating now. Next day, Facebook. I love this guy so much. Like, yo, relax, dude. Like I mean, it's cool. You guys realized you have a connection, but man, like you're like saying, "I'd die for this guy. I'd die for this person." Like it's been one day, man. Like get to know this
like
person.
the hormones and like the age
Yeah,
and all
I
that
get
stuff.
that.
Like, that's pretty crazy.
But yeah, it's just insane, dude. And we were talking about the fucking the sleep thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't know you had sleep problems too, and that's kind of been one of my problems too. It's like you said, like your mind just goes.
Yeah.
Like when you're just laying there, and people are always like, just go to sleep. I was like, that's not how it works, man. Like I'm literally just thinking about everything. It's not necessarily sad things. It's not necessarily bad things. It's just everything.
And then hearing something would distract me, like ticking on a clock.
Yeah.
That like I could not get that out of my head or anything. Like
That's
that.
why I used to have a clock in here too, and I'd take it out just because of that. Because I would literally be like almost asleep and hear like,
Boom. Yep. Oh my god.
oh,
The
dude.
worst, dude. The worst.
I tried everything, earplugs, stuff like that. It never worked. Because
Yeah.
then you're uncomfortable because there's an earplug in your ear. It's insane, dude. Like right now, like most people are asleep. It's freaking 1:30 in the morning right now. We're filming this because we decided to.
Yeah, because we're chilling.
Yeah, because we're chilling. Yeah. I just want to talk about one more thing, just because like it's been pretty much an hour already, but like, because like you were talking about your headband earlier.
Yeah. Oh
Like
my
how
god.
you've been using it as a good luck charm,
Dude.
ever since the rave.
Dude, Ralphie,
yeah,
if you can see it. Thank you, dude.
yeah, for you guys who don't know,
I
we
gotta
went,
get
like I
this
said,
up.
we went to a rave and just the headband Nauras wore. So what do you think? Like, why do you? Well, I'm not think, but like, why do you consider this a good luck charm now?
Dude, it's just I just had a great experience, dude. I had an experience like I've never felt before.
Yeah, it's just
It's just this thing reminds me of that experience. So like,
yeah, that's really cool.
why not
'cause,
hold
like,
on to it?
I have a lot of sentimental things too. Like I keep, like don't look at that. Don't look at that. Stop. But this is a bottle that you can't really see it, but it was signed before.
Okay.
This is from like, I don't drink Fireball. This is like when I was trash. I don't drink this stuff anymore. But this is from a really good night with a friend. Yeah, that was like 2 years ago. Really good night with a friend, and we both signed it. And it was just chill because it was like one of these nights where I'm just we're really connecting. And it's just like, sign this bottle. I'm trying to remember this. Same thing with your headband. And I really get like that. But you're still thinking about the thing. I know. I can tell. We're not going to talk about that.
I saw it like way earlier.
I know you did too. But then when I started doing like this, that's why I had to acknowledge it. And I was like, I'm not grabbing that. Don't think about that. Oh my God. Holy shit, dude. I know you saw that probably like 2 nights ago.
No, I saw it when I first sat down here, and I was like, oh, okay. And then you just were like, don't look at it. Don't look at it.
Oh my God. Anyway.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, that's still there, but we'll get rid of that eventually.
Sorry, man.
Sorry, you guys don't know what we're talking about.
Maybe you'll find out one
we
day.
we know what we're talking about. But yeah, like just having things sentimental. Some people think that's weird, and I was like, that's not weird at all. It's like you want things to remember stuff by.
Yeah.
Like I gave you the photo.
I still have it. Yeah, it's in
Yeah,
my car.
and you definitely still have it, and it's just like people think it's like weird to be living in the past like that. And it's not. It's like it's cool to remember. If you're chasing for those stuff again, that's what's kind of weird. Like obviously you can't have that again.
Yeah.
But it's cool to remember things. And that was a great night for me too. Like I talked about it with Joe, and he was like, "Yeah, I had fun."
Yeah. I want to talk to Joe about it.
Yeah, you can ask him about it. He'll tell you the same thing. It's like he had fun. It might not be his thing, but at the same time, he was fun because we were all there.
Yeah.
As people, and that's kind of one of my things now. It's like I'm kind of more willing to do a lot of things. I'm not in that space where it's like I want to do this. It's more like I want to do this. I want to do stuff with these people.
Yeah.
Versus the thing. I don't really care about the thing.
Yeah. Dude, yeah. No, I'm telling you, like when it was just so nice having you guys around. Like everywhere I looked, one of you guys were somewhere close by and stuff. And it was nice because you could do your own thing, but at the same time you had the people around you.
Yeah.
It was just a good feeling.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I've before when I was like that with people in group situations. Once people started spreading, that was it. It's like now you're by yourself,
Yeah.
and now you're by yourself in a club, and you look stupid because you're dancing by yourself. Not from personal experience,
Yeah.
kind of, but like it's just weird because it's like you go to a club and like you want to be with your friends. You don't go there because you're trying to like pick up other people.
Yeah.
So it was great. Like I thought the same thing,
Dude,
like you
I've
said.
never done anything like that. And like, I mean, like I've told, like I have no rhythm, and I can't dance, and I can't sing. Like I'm smart, but I'm not good at any of that kind
You're
of.
feeling it that night though. I noticed. I was like, yo, because me and Rafa like kept checking on you. You're like, yeah, he's into it. He's into he's in there. I know when I was
cool,
doing
man.
the finger stuff.
Oh, dude, that was so wild.
And that
Dude.
one guy came from
Oh
across
my
the
God.
room.
Dude,
I was like, where the hell
that
did this
dude
guy
was
come
so
from?
gone, dude.
Yeah, he was gone.
Dude,
That
he was just like staring at you, and he was just.
I kind of got scared. It made me want to do better because I was like, yo, if I give this guy a whack one, he's going to get mad or something. Like, he's going to stab me. Because he was like this. He was like, I was like, oh my God, dude, this dude is gone.
I
Dude.
have that dude's facial expression. I have not forgotten.
Yeah, I can't forget it either. Yeah, he looked like one of those guys off of a kung fu movie, like you know where they always wear the jacket that goes up to here, you know. And I was like, yo, dude, like the dude was gone.
Yeah,
It was
so
insane.
good.
That was a great night,
Yeah.
and I'm glad I went. And I'm glad Joe went because we were like, yo, Joe, go. I'm like,
Yeah,
"All right, let's go.
No, I'm glad he came. I'm
And
glad
it's-
everyone came.
Yeah, I'm glad you came out because we weren't sure you were gonna come.
Dude,
out.
yeah, dude, it was so spur of the moment. Neil was like, "Let's do it," and I'm like, "All right."
That's the thing
What?
Neil's good at. He's good at
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
people to do things.
Yeah. Because I noticed Ralphie started hyping it, and I'm like, "What's he like? Why is?" And then Neil started hyping it, and I'm like, "Man, what is so crazy about it?" And then I was like, "Holy moly, this is pretty cool." Actually, I was
Yeah.
pretty surprised. It's not really my scene in general, but
Right.
I was pretty impressed by it.
Yeah, at least you tried it. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. We're everyone's kind of in that state right now, especially with our age. It's like we're more willing to try a lot of
Yeah.
different stuff because we're starting to find people that we can feel trusted enough with to try things.
Yeah, knowing that they'll like try to take care of you.
Yeah.
And there's one thing, the photograph. So in Richmond, when I was in Richmond, I had this like photo album in my Mac, and I printed 4x6s, and I printed like 50 of them or something, and I like just glued them on my wall. So I had my whole wall like just covered.
photos?
Yeah, and then on my birthday, a couple of my friends like gave me pictures that they took of like events that we'd been to and all
Oh,
that
that's
stuff.
cool, dude.
It was kind of a bummer because when we moved out, I had to take them all down. I have them all and everything, but it was really cool. I just kept building like this whole like side of the wall. I just kept building pictures and pictures and pictures on it. That was really neat.
Yeah, I'm kind of like that too. Like back when we first started getting like phones and stuff, and before that, I had digital cameras, like cheap ones, like $100 ones. I basically haven't deleted a photo since 2005.
Holy.
So that's right. That's why I keep telling you guys on the thing. I need more space
Yeah.
because I have
What
like
do you have?
I basically have like 4 terabytes, 4 or 5
And you
terabytes.
still need more space?
I still need more space. Well, a lot of that's because I do video work. Like
Yeah,
this
that's
video
true,
right here
yeah.
will be like 60 gigs.
Oh.
Yeah, on top of audio and stuff like that. And I basically have like, I think it's close to 20,000 photos from 2005 to now.
Dang.
And because I'm like that. I'm like a photo hoarder. I don't even, it's not even like I go through it like every year. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's nice.
I know.
No, it's just like sometimes I'll be thinking like, oh man, I remember that one time. Wait, I have the photo for that. And I'll look for it. And then because I group everything by year.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, yeah, there it is. Like that one time we went mini golfing or something. I'm like, yeah, I remember that day. And it just, everything kind of just flashes back into my thing. Like Memento. Like it's like you look at this picture, it's like, oh man, yeah, I remember that day. This happened, this happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like those sentimental things. That's why I think it's really cool that you're wearing the bandana.
Yeah,
and
dude.
like, I mean, that's something you're gonna remember.
Dude, never gonna forget. No question.
Oh, I don't think so either. Because you guys don't know this, but after that day, we got home probably like 1.
Was it? It was like,
Like
yeah, 12:31 ish.
And I mean, Nauras chilled until 4. Just relaxing. That was crazy, dude. Yeah, I think this is pretty much a good place to kind of stop. So around the end of those podcasts, we like asking people, biggest life lesson they've learned and the best advice they can give, because sometimes that's 2 different things.
Okay.
So biggest life lesson you learned.
These are some heavy questions. Biggest life lesson I learned is I have to think about it for a second.
You're good, man. This is why, like, I try and hide all the questions during the conversations, but this is the only one that people like I ask directly. It's hard, yeah.
The biggest, I've always been really close with my family, so I think my biggest life lesson was just like trust your parents. I mean, I grew up in a very good environment where my parents have been my everything, but trust your parents. It was always like there's always like little things. My dad was the one that convinced me to actually go to ODU versus because I actually applied to like William and Mary, UVA. I put a deposit down for UVA.
Oh wow.
And like pretty much like the month before I was about to leave for UVA, my dad was like, we should really consider ODU. And like in hindsight, ended up being one of the best decisions I ever made. So if you have a good home environment, trust your parents. Like no doubt about that.
That's actually really interesting because I know my dad, he was like, we were talking about the magnet school thing. He was like, why aren't you going? Why aren't you going to magnet school? I was like, Brandon. Yeah. And would you say that's the biggest advice you can give to then?
Biggest advice? The biggest advice I would tell people is if you're thinking about something to do, just go out there and do it, man.
Yeah.
Like, if you have an opportunity to pursue something, pursue it. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't matter. You learn so much more from actually going through with something rather than thinking of all the worst possible scenarios of you actually doing it and then not end up doing it.
Right.
So what I just tell people is if you're thinking about it, do it. Just do it.
Yeah, that's why I always separate the biggest life lesson because sometimes a lot of people don't. They think like that's the same thing, and when they start talking about it, they're like, "Wait, that's actually not the same thing to me." Anyways, that's been a solid hour. It's been a really fun hour. Actually, it's probably the easiest one I've gone through so far, and it was really freaking funny. We were laughing probably like 75% of the time. Anyways, this is the YM podcast, and here with my guest Nauras, a really cool friend. I mean, he doesn't really use social media like that, so there's no point in plugging it. But, you know, if you need a baby delivered or something, he got you.
Be your neighborhood doctor.
Yeah, you could join our Discord. You could talk to him there. Add more friends. We got you. That's been the YM podcast. This is Nauras, like I said. Bye.
See ya. Dude, that was dope, dude.